Hey, what's going on everybody? Desir here with another Cosmic Crucible video. This one here, I'm going to do like a week one analysis style of video. I'm going to go through what each stage does, what rooms look to be the most impactful for not only endgame players, but I'm going to focus on some mid-game players as well. For those that are working on unlocking Apocalypse or working on even getting their big boy Apocalypse, because I feel that's very important right now in this game to help build the community, make the game grow further. So let's go into each room and we'll see how we will approach this together. So to start, we will focus on the global rules first. The Symbiotic 6. Symbiote characters, they will count as having the Superior 6 and Sinister 6 for the tags. The Superior 6 characters, on a successful attack, they will gain a barrier for 15% of their max health. Also, when successfully attacked, they will remove revive once from the attacker. So this is different than the previous seasons, where you can bring in characters like Spider Slayer or Lizard, use their ultimate ability, hit all of the enemies, and the revive once is off. This time here, if they have to revive once, they have to hit you with like a basic attack or an ability. Passives don't trigger the removal of the revive once, I noticed. Also on spawn, they will be gaining defense up. Listed below, I have a list of characters and teams that should help benefit the mid-game players and even the end-game players for what you're going to be wanting to use on the attack. There are going to be some exceptions like the Superior 6, where if you want, they definitely can go on defense, but the other three teams I feel are better on the attack. So to start, the Masters of Evil. They will be used to unlock Nova during the Nova trials, and those will be coming back every 2 weeks. So the important ones to focus on for that are going to be Kang, Moonstone, Titania. Those three are pretty important. The team really is all about Kang though. Ultron, he's usually the first one to be subbed out. Absorbing Man, he is a pre-taunter, so he definitely has more life in this game than usual tank characters because they get that taunt right on spawn. Also with the Nova trial, Quicksilver is an option. I personally used the 5 Masters of Evil on the first portion of that node, which I believe was node 2. And then I threw Quicksilver in on the node 6, and if I needed to clear the node 10, I used Quicksilver again. Ultron was the one I did sub out, so my Absorbing Man is higher than a lot of other people's. For the next team, we will discuss the new Warriors. They are used for the Famine Scourge. However, I do want to put emphasis on this, even though you will be using them on your attack for Cosmic Crucible, Secret Defenders is also used to unlock Famine. So you really want to decide, do you want to focus more on a well-rounded team like Secret Defenders, or do you want to focus more on Cosmic Crucible and get your attack team up for the new Warriors? Because I do use new Warriors every Cosmic Crucible. I feel they bring a lot of value still even this season. In that room 5, they can work in room 6, and I believe depending what's in room 3, like if somebody throws a Secret Defenders in there, new Warriors can definitely take them out as well. The third team is going to be the Superior 6. The Sinister 6 characters are used to unlock Black Cat on her trials, but the Superior 6 also has the Sinister 6 tags, so they are dual tagged that way. This team is phenomenal on offense and defense. They pretty much are the Cosmic Crucible meta right now, as far as either going on defense in room 3 or room 5. For attack, they can take out the X-Men in room 1. They can usually, it's a 50-50 toss-up on the mirror match. If you do the sack, they can usually take that out as well. So this is a very good team, and the fact that they are used to unlock Black Cat is definitely added bonus. And for the last team, we will discuss the Tangled Web. This is mainly Spider-Weaver and Spider-Man 2099. They are a perfect duo together, so usually if you run Spider-Weaver, you're going to run 2099 with her. Spider Noir is more of a luxury build. He doesn't bring much value as far as the other two go. So typically I run Spider Weaver 2099. Then you can throw like Kestrel, Iron Man Infinity War, Nova, Omega Red even with them, and they do just fine as the two. So I would recommend as a mid-game player to actually build these characters and teams still. New Warriors is kind of an iffy one, mainly because Secret Defenders also will help you unlock Rogue. Stage 1 Invulnerable. Raiders and Skirmisher characters, they will gain 200% extra damage when under 50% health. We already found out this season very early that the Extreme X-Men with Rogue is a problem. The main reason being is they have so many health triggers like Gambit and Nightcrawler for either clearing their debuffs, going in stealth, Rogue getting taunt, and then if you kill somebody and the Cyclops is on the team, Forge will get that 100% turn meter and he'll basically take back-to-back turns. So this is a very problematic room. The counters that we so far have for this are the Masters of Evil with Apocalypse, the Superior 6, or as we saw in a previous video, Masters of Evil with Dorm, but you have to really be careful with that matchup. So now the question comes, what to put on defense for this room? If you're a mid-game player, I think the straight up Unlimited team is a very good option because you still will have Rogue, you will have Gambit, and if you were around when the Extreme X-Men event was going on, you can throw them in there as well. Another option is going to be Gamma. They work pretty well because they have a lot of sustain abilities, and if you put them as Raiders, they work very well that way as well. So I think you can go either of those two routes as a mid-game player. For endgame, I'm using the pure Extreme X-Men, but it is better if you use the Rogue on there. I just have Rogue off my defense so I can use her as an attacker. Stage 2 Mystic Healthcare. Mystic characters gain 20% drain per negative effect such as bleed, offense down, trauma, or disrupted. There really isn't a lot of variety that is going into this room right now. Pretty much everybody is using Darkhold. So as a mid-game player, there is the pure Darkhold that you can do. However, I wanted to bring your attention that the Bifrost is a pretty good option in here as well because they are all Mystic and they are used to unlock Red Hulk, who is the War Horseman. So that could kind of be an option for you if you don't have your Darkhold built up yet and you're still working on them, but you do have Red Hulk and the War Team ready to go. You can throw Bifrost in here. As an endgame player, we do have the Darkhold, and there are 3 options that usually people put in here. There is Dorm, Quicksilver, or Loki. Each of them brings a different unique ability in there. Dorm with the revive once, however, Spider Weaver usually still can kill them and get that permakill. Quicksilver is another good option because you have to be mindful of him dropping below the health threshold of 50%, clearing his debuffs, and Scarlet Witch coming out, and Scarlet Witch works perfect with that Darkhold as a 6th member. As a 5th, not so much, we already know that. Loki is a decent option in here because he does get that speed up. That's the option I'm currently going with. That way I can use Dorm elsewhere, whether it's on defense or offense, and Quicksilver, I can use him on offense. So I don't lose too much by using Loki in there, and it saves me 2 other pieces. Stage 3, When It Rains. When a positive effect is applied to a character, increase the duration of all positive effects on allies of that character by +1 up to a max of 3. When a negative effect is applied to a character, increase the duration of all negative effects on all allies of that character by +1 up to a max of 3 as well. This room here is very dangerous, especially if you underestimate it, because some people use Infinity Watch in here. However, as a mid-game player, I do want to point out that the Unlimited X-Men team works really well in here. But if you are using an Unlimited X-Men in Room 1, I think you can use Extreme X-Men in here as well because of how many positive effects they get in there. And you can maybe do like unlimited with Dormammu in 1 and the full extreme in 3. That way there's still that nice threat in room 1 that will pull something for you. As an endgame player, if you want to go for a turtle heavy defense, the Superior 6 is very dangerous in here and will cause multiple teams to time out if they don't approach it correctly, which would be do a sack on there and then go in with a mirror match or something of that nature. However, if you want to use Superior 6 on offense, you can use the Extreme X-Men with Rogue in here as well as a defensive thing, based on how many negative effects they get. With Black Knight coming out, I'm actually going to be doing some testing in room 3 myself of doing like a rebirth with the Black Knight in there because of how many positive effects and negative effects they deal out, and I want to try to stretch my opponent's resources. We'll see how that goes this upcoming week. It's definitely going to be some testing. I may end up moving him after the first match or 2, but I'm very curious about that. So it's early in the season, I could do some testing and it's not going to affect me too much. Stage 4, Spiritual Energy. Anytime a character gains energy from an active ability, they gain +1 extra energy. When an enemy character dies, all characters gain +1 ability energy. Ultimate abilities cost +3 more ability energy as well. This one here is one of the more dangerous rooms of this season. Room 3, Room 4, and Room 1 with the X-Men in there. Because the Secret Defenders are used to unlock Famine as a mid-game player, they're a great option to build up and put in this room. I also have Captain America in here because the Wave 1 Avengers is also used as an unlock method for the Red Hulk. So you can do like Captain America, Hulk, that's actually 2 Wave 1 characters, and Bifrost to unlock the War Horseman Red Hulk. And then another option as a mid-game player is doing the Extreme with Rogue. It will throw a lot of people off because a lot of teams that need to beat them need their ultimate abilities, and this team works really good as far as building off the specials and going that route to kind of ramp up. As an endgame player, the Secret Defenders, and there's a lot of variants on this I have on here. There's the Super Skrull, the Captain America, the Black Knight now, or even using Photon. So you can do something where you use Captain America, Black Knight, so they're both out of time members, and the other 3-piece. Or if you want to save your Super Skrull for offense or put it on defense, you can slot that in as well. There's a lot of different variants of the Secret Defenders team. The one on the right that I have on there is the Super Skrull with the 4-piece or Captain America with the 4-piece. I'm still sticking to the Jessica Jones because I'm using that rebirth with Black Knight in room 3 as a testing that I said earlier. So this may evolve even more as the week goes on, but currently as of today, Secret Defenders is the main team that's going to be in the stage 4. As an honorable mention, I do want to bring Pegasus is a pretty interesting option, mainly because they have all of their abilities at the start. Because of Ironheart Mark II, she gives everybody +2 energy on spawn, so they can actually use the ultimates right off the bat, and that will catch some people off guard. Stage 5, Robotic Double. Tech characters. Whenever a tech character uses an ultimate ability, revive an allied tech character at 100% health. We found out very early in the season that this is basically a dead room. There aren't really worth any tech characters to stick in here to take advantage of that ability. Pegasus as a mid-game player could work in here because you would build them very high up for the raids, but I would personally just throw Gamma in here and just kind of leave it at that and not even try to take advantage of the room bonuses. As an endgame player, the Superior 6 works pretty well in here because they do have Green Goblin, Doc Ock, and Spider Slayer as tech characters. So because of that, people have to be mindful that if the match does go on long enough, one of those characters could bring somebody back to life. Another good option, because this is a dead room, is using Infinity Watch. This team never goes away, I swear. It's been about 3 years that this team has been out, and they still stick around because of that safeguard, the immunity, and the defense up on spawn. They're kind of a evergreen team, if you will, because of that. So we have another at least 5 weeks of the season. So Infinity Watch is probably going to stay in here for me unless I end up moving them to, say, a room 3 that I mentioned earlier because of the prolong and all those effects. Stage 6, Health Insurance. On turn, characters remove all positive effects from self and heal by 10% of their max health for each positive effect removed. As a mid-game player, Unlimited X-Men could work in here, or your Gamma team can work in here. The Unlimited X-Men, they do spawn with a lot of safeguard and positive effects. That will basically make the match more difficult for the opponent because of having to deal with the defense ups, the safeguards, the evades that Phantom X could bring out. For Gamma, it makes it more difficult because they throw a lot of regens out and positive effects. On top of their sustain, they could be a lot more difficult to take out if your opponent didn't end up building the new warriors. As an endgame player, we have a couple different options for us. Dorky Dad has a video out right now where he shows the power of the hero as guardians, and what you're doing is rolling the dice on Valkyrie's passive going off and throwing the safeguard and all the buffs on the hero as guardians, and Dormammu's there to basically give a second chance of either Valkyrie coming back or any of the hero as guardians coming back, and it's war of attrition on RNG. So nobody likes to play against RNG because if you play against it, most likely it's going to happen, but if you're trying to use it, it usually doesn't happen, so you have to be very careful of that. With the other option, there is the Infinity Watch. This one is kind of dicey as well, mainly because the safeguard drops off at the beginning of the turn, so it doesn't really get to prolong those effects longer for you. As soon as the turn starts, safeguard drops off and then the debuffs come off and heal you. So it's not a great option, but it is an option. Or you can use one of the mid-game options as well, where it's Unlimited X-Men, maybe Extreme with Rogue in here, or Extreme with Dormammu, or even Gamma. It's up to you on how you want to play this room out, but there are a few options of what you can do. For the last part of this video, I wanted to address the mid-game players because there isn't a lot of content out for them, and I feel very bad that they kind of have help for the start of the game, help for the end of the game, but nothing really for the transition. So for this, the Apocalypse Scourges for Pestilence, I would focus on building the Hive Mind team. They're the new Bio Raid team. They have a lot of benefit this season of Cosmic Crucible. For Death, you can work on Pegasus. They are the tech raid team, and they actually have a lot of value outside of raids, such as in Cosmic Crucible and War, and Kestrel is an amazing character. If you want, you could also go some War Dog route. They will help you a little bit in War. They did fall off a little bit, but because of their speed bar in War and all the positive effects, you might be able to use them a little bit, but that's going to be more of a luxury build for you. For the War Scourge, the Wave 1 with Captain America because he just got another rework, Hulk because of the Gamma team, and then use some Bifrost characters because of the Mystic Raid, and then that will get you started for when you need them for the Mystic lanes. You are mostly done with them and you can just touch up whoever else you need. For Famine, there are the Secret Defenders and the new Warriors that I talked about. The Secret Defenders are an amazing team in Arena for the mid game, unless if it's ready to start in transition for you because of Black Knight. They're great in War and very dangerous in that room 4 of Cosmic Crucible. The new Warriors is more of a luxury build, I feel. If you want to go harder in Cosmic Crucible, I would definitely recommend building them up, but I would do the Secret Defenders first, new Warriors second for them. Now for the trials, Nova has Masters of Evil and Quicksilver currently. As I mentioned before, Kang, Moonstone, Titania, Absorbing Man, and Quicksilver were the main 4 I used I did use Ultron on the second node of that trial. You might be able to get away with underbuilding Ultrons because he does get subbed out a lot on that team, so that is definitely an option for you. For the Black Cat trial, Sinister Six and Nowhere are the two teams used to unlock Black Cat. Sinister Six is a wonderful option to do. However, I do want to point out that Nova is very important right now. He's a great legendary character, and with the current war seasons going on, if people have Black Knight on defense with certain teams, particularly the full out of time team, Nowhere and Apocalypse is the team that counters that. For Green Goblin, the New Avengers, and Rebirth, you do have to build both teams for this trial. You can't get away with one or the other if you're going for the max stars. So you don't really have too many options. However, Captain America and Peggy Carter both are now on the out of time team, so it's not wasted investment for the Rebirth. The upcoming legendary that we just heard about, it looks like that's going to be on the Deadpool and the Panda Pool team that's coming. The out of time is a team required to unlock that, so you are getting an added benefit out of Captain America and Peggy Carter used to unlock two characters, so that's actually very helpful for the player base. Hopefully this guide I put together for you is able to help you out and you got something useful out of it. Let me know in the comments if there was anything that I missed or anything more that you want me to go over. I'm happy to do more content like this for you. Just remember to like and subscribe. We just hit 100 subscriptions on this channel. I'm really excited about that, and I'm hoping that we can hit that 500 here shortly and eventually the 1,000. So thanks again to all of you.